Hello and welcome. My name is Tom Shima. Over the course of 2026, I'm playing the game Persona 3 Reload. Only I'm trying something a little different. I'm going to match the pace of the game. That's right, I'm playing this game one real day at a time. Please enjoy this different take on the game in a series I'm calling Persona a Day. Hello and welcome. My name is Tom Shima, and today is Monday, May 25th. So as I like to do, I'm going to start off by talking about what we did yesterday. This catches us all up and makes sure we're coming into today knowing where we are. Then we'll get into today's gameplay and see what happens. After that, we'll come back here to the desk and talk about it and see what other meaning we can assign the day. And for any of you watching on YouTube, I will have timestamps available in the description if you wish to jump to a specific section. I do also want to say that as this is a full playthrough of the game, we will be encountering spoilers. So please be aware of that before we continue. Okay, so let's take a look back first at what we did yesterday, Sunday, May 24th. There was no school yesterday. Very early in the day, we had a text from our friend Kenji, just seeing if we had some free time yesterday and wanted to hang out. We haven't really done much with him in a while, so it was nice to hear from him. Thinking back a little further, the entirety of the preceding week, from Monday through Saturday, had been midterm exams at school. That really dominated our entire focus throughout the week. It was just constantly studying, going to school, taking a test, returning to the dorm, studying, going to bed, and repeating that process the whole week. So making it to a day off yesterday, after getting all the way through exams, was just what we needed. So I wanted to take it easy and just unwind for the day, let the mind decompress, and just stop thinking about obligations for a while. So I took a little walk around town to stretch my legs and get some fresh air, talk to some of the people and see some of the sights that we haven't seen for much of a week, and just kind of generally see where the day took us. Along the way, I thought more and more about just what sort of relaxing fun things we could do with the day. I thought about spending time with Kenji. There were a lot of our other social links, too, that we had options to spend some time with. And there were other things as well, the arcade or, what have you, but I wanted to kind of make it a social day, but also a really easy day. And one thought I kept having was getting back into that online game, Innocent Sin Online, where we met the player Maya. It was a game actually Junpei gave us about a month ago that we've been playing in the computer in our room. It's been a lot of fun. And it was also one that I'd reasoned we don't really have a whole lot of time to spend on. It takes a full day off from school, which right now is only Sundays. So it's really once a week at most we can spend any time with Maya, which just kind of led me to slightly prioritize trying to spend that time with her. I figured if we didn't spend any time with her yesterday, it would be at least a week before we'd see her again. And it was tough because we were being pulled in directions by a lot of friends. I didn't really want to ignore Kenji or Maiko at the playground, but again, it just seems like there's less time to spend with Maya. So in the long run, I did decide that's where I wanted to spend my time. So I logged into the game, and it just felt like that was another good fun thing to do. Our character is definitely a gamer, so I'm sure he was also kind of looking forward to getting through exams and having some time to just get back to the things he likes to do. So we logged in, and eventually Maya's character joined us, and we got up to whatever we were doing in the game, while chatting with each other the whole time. Maya kind of revealed that she was annoyed with her mom right now because she was being pestered about getting married again. And she didn't really appreciate that meddling as she saw it, and was just kind of venting to me about that. And the game gave me a couple choices on whether I wanted to dig a little bit deeper, or it gave me a little bit more of a fun, fanciful option of saying, well, Maya, why don't we get married? I'm Tatsuya, you're Mayu, why don't we get married? And She thought about that for a second, and, that totally lightened the mood. She laughed at the thought, and, wow, you would marry me without even having met me? I didn't know you were so brave, Tatsuya. And so it really just kind of disarmed that whole situation. She didn't seem like she was thinking as much about how unfair it felt and, the pressures from outside. It was just like we were both in a game. We were both of the same lighthearted mindset, and we were just enjoying our free time. She seemed to appreciate that. Our social link grew a bit closer from that, and we were just able to be friends and gamers and not have to worry about the outside world at that time. And so I appreciate that as well, because that's why I was playing the game too. And so we were both of that same mindset, talked and joked and enjoyed the rest of the day, and by the end, our social link for the Hermit Arcana raised another rank. So I think that took us to rank 4, if I remember correctly. But it was a good fun daytime part of the day to relax and do something that we haven't done in a while that we've been wanting to get back to. And that brought us to the evening then, and it was that same decision of, do I want to keep the fun things going, or do I want to do something a little different with the evening? And I've been saying for the better part of this last week during exams that it'd be nice to get back to Tartarus one of these days. And I kept saying that and not getting there, and saying that and not getting there. And yesterday, it just really seemed like the time to go back to Tartarus. I figured that we had a good day off. We took it easy Saturday evening. We had some good time during the day Sunday. And this is just that chance to make a little bit more investigation progress into the shadows. Even better than that, Akihiko was finished with his recovery, so he was able to join us. He was quite excited to get back into things and get his training going again. And I wanted to see what he was capable of and to have a full party in the tower. So we made our way there during the dark hour. We'd started from floor 28 where we left off last time. And that was another thing. Looking at everybody's average progress, we were starting to feel more and more behind between levels and progress. So that was another motivating reason to head there. But with our full party, we were able to have that much more elemental coverage, more physical strength, and just more strategic choices during battle. So we made a climb at a steady pace. We encountered a few challenging fights, but we were able to overcome them. And eventually we made it to a floor with some guardian shadows on it. They were a little bit stronger. They focused on status ailments and critical hits. It was a challenge, but we made it through, only to then advance one more floor and have another guardian waiting for us there. That became a real test then. We weren't exactly hurting for our HP or SP, but we weren't flush with it either. I topped our health off, but we were kind of getting low on our skill use points, so we had to think a little creative and conservative there. And I won't say that it was an easy fight. I definitely felt the pressure there, but that's exactly kind of what we needed. We managed to survive, which was the big thing, but it wasn't just an easy fight we were able to roll through. We had to think about it. We had to be smart. We had to work as a team. I think we did all that. And we made it through. We were all pretty tired by that point. Picked up a couple nice treasures, some new armor for Akihiko, and a sword for Junpei. Completed some requests for Elizabeth. But that last guardian was on floor 36, so we were able to actually have a teleporter after that fight, which was the best thing I could have seen at that point. The dark hour was wrapping up, and that just gave us that two-way teleporter to head back to the lobby safely, and then return to floor 36 to continue our advance next time. So I finished the day stopping by the Velvet Room, updating the compendium, taking stock of what personas we had on hand. I thought about fusing a few new ones, but reasoned that I don't know what sort of social interactions I'll get up to today, so it might make more sense to hold on to what I had that was fitting for potential interactions rather than fusing them away needing to resummon them again. So we checked in with Elizabeth and completed what requests were completed. And after that, we survived. We were all feeling pretty good, a little tired, but we all made it, and it was time to head back to the dorm. So that's where we left off the end of yesterday. We all headed back, probably ready for a good night of sleep, and to come in and start the week strong on Monday. So that does catch us up. I will send us over to the game and see what we can get up to for Monday. Okay, there we go. So this is where we left off at the end of yesterday. We're in the lobby of Tartarus, just finishing up the end of Sunday the 24th. This is right before we headed back to the dorm.
Yes.
What's the matter? Are you done for the day? Yep, this is where we called it quits yesterday. All right, rest up and come prepared for our next expedition. And yeah, we weren't super beat up after those fights, but it will be especially rewarding when we do come back at full health and with full SP, ready to just keep climbing undeterred and with all the resources at our disposal. Yeah, it felt like a really rewarding time in the tower yesterday. We made good solid progress that I've been wanting to get back to for a while. But that was the end of yesterday, so that takes us into today, Monday the 25th.
Good morning.
Morning. You're as punctual as always, Shima-kun. This morning, Junpei left earlier than usual, looking like the world was about to end. I have a feeling I know what he was thinking about. And yeah, that is a rare sight, so yeah. I think I do know what happened, so I don't need to ask about that.
Jeez.
Yeah, no kidding. This is the same Junpei who's always running late. I don't know if I want to voice my thoughts on what's happening or I'll about to let the scene play out, but we've talked about what was coming up today over the weekend, so some of you probably already are on the same wavelength I am. But yeah, this is the same Junpei who's always running late. There it is, yep. Our midterm scores are going to be revealed today, so he said he's going to pick the teachers for a higher score before they get posted. Probably won't work, but it's initiative. I hope it goes well enough for him, even though I don't think it'll lead to too much. Can't fault the guy for trying. Yeah, as if that's going to work. Oh, by the way, you remember that girl Sanada-senpai was talking about? Yamagishi-san? I heard she has a weak constitution, but that's just a rumor. I wonder what she's really like. Yeah, for anybody who's wondering, a couple nights ago, Akihiko, Yukari, and Junpei were talking when I got back to the dorm that they had discovered a new Persona user, potentially. It was someone from a neighboring class, this Yamugishi, and we don't know a whole lot about her other than, yeah, she was at the hospital and she misses school somewhat regularly. So we weren't sure how much of an asset she would be to a team if she's, how she's able to compete with the shadows. Not a lot known yet, but still on everybody's mind. Yeah, but having more people join our fight is good news, right? Yeah. The more assets we have on our side, the better for all of us. Lunchtime, we don't usually see lunchtime. Hey, the exam results are up. All right, this is one of those deep breath kind of moments, isn't it? I always remember that thought too. It's like, okay, we're gonna see how we did. This is, you can't change it now, but it's still that, until I see it, there's that potential. Will it be good? Will it be bad? It could be anything until I see it. And you have to eventually just take that deep breath and bite the bullet and take that look. And our character felt like he did well on the tests. Okay, yes, I will so take that. I'm in the top 10. I did pretty well, for the questions I was asked for most of the days last week. Although there was one on, was it Friday? I think it was Friday. That was just a total shot in the dark. I tried to talk it out and voice my thoughts on it. That one was 100% luck. Maybe 99% luck. Maybe there was some bit of me in there that knew, but not enough to really take a lot of credit for it. And as I've said, all week, I'll reiterate here that I'm not using any sort of guides or walkthroughs for this playthrough. I have played the game before, but I'm just taking it each day as it comes, and I did the same thing with exams, so I wasn't looking up any questions beforehand or anything like that. But it was really rewarding for a lot of the questions to be able to remember talking about them in class, or hearing about them around town, and applying that to the exam. So, with the exception of Friday, I really did feel confident in all my answers. And we studied a lot leading up to it and raised our academics, so to end up in the top 10, I will 100% take that. Everyone is looking at me. Sweet. And gained a couple points of charm for that. And yes, here's our current social stats. We are an unpolished, ordinary, above average person. Just the other day, after exams ended, it was kind of the culmination of all of our academic work. On Saturday night, we took our academic scores from average to above average. So that was really nice to see. But just looking at this, we've made a lot of progress in the not even 2 months we've been staying at the dorm so far. We're getting better as a person. Come to think of it, Mitsuru promised to give me a gift if I scored well. That she did. She promised both sides of that, actually. If I did well, she was going to reward us. And if we didn't do well, there were going to be consequences befitting that as well. Yeah, I should talk to Mitsuru when I see her. Yeah, I will try to remember that. Lunchtime is almost over. I should get back to class.
Okay, time for class.
All right, class, settle down. You can show off your scores to each other later. Let's spend a bit of time going over the test now. The first part was the kanji dictation section. How did any of you get this part wrong? It was a gimme. I wonder how many teachers feel that way about something they've taught, that they really feel like they've covered in its entirety, and then they go through tests and they see that 60% of the class got it right, or something that they really felt like they focused on. A lot of people didn't get it right. I wonder how that feels as a teacher. I'm sure there's some part of it that might be a little frustrating, but there's also that part of me as a teacher. If that were me, it's like, where did I go wrong? I thought I did all I could for that. But it looks like this is more the exasperated, how did you get this part wrong? Oh, okay, no uncertainty there. I swear, you make me ashamed to be your teacher sometimes. Ouch. Tough motivation. Next was the short essay, your reaction to a passage about bullying in schools. Those don't have a sole correct answer. You could write whatever comes to mind as long as it's relevant. You could even write about something you'd never discuss aloud, like a complaint about bullying at Gekkokan, for example. Though I'm sure it's not an issue in this class, right? Bear in mind, I hate cowards who resort to bullying. Hello, welcome. Yes, there is quite the cast of characters for those teachers, so it is kind of interesting to wonder how much they are able to learn from that eccentric bunch. Good point. I'm feeling sleepy. I've said it every time. I've never considered sleeping in class. I don't see myself starting now, so I'm going to stay awake.
Okay, moving on.
Okay, on to the next section. Many of you got these wrong. Are we paying attention? Good. Now, you were asked to write the correct conjunction in each case. The first one's answer was and, but if you wrote however, you lucked out with some partial credit. I won't award it next time, though. Got it? I forced myself to stay awake and listen to the lecture. I'm not really sure I was forcing myself to stay awake. I mean, that's kind of the baseline thing you need to do at school, right? I mean, as long as you're not asleep, you're... It's I don't know. Seems like that's not a high bar to climb over, to stay awake during class. Maybe that's just me, but here we are in the after-school time already. Class has ended for today. Nice to see a lot of people have some things to say. I don't see Junpei standing by that window, though, so I was kind of wanting to talk to him about his exam. I suppose we'll see him sooner or later. Let's get the game saved first off. And as we do, let's start with our messages. Wow, lots of stuff going on today. We got Maiko. Hi, are we playing today? Perhaps. We got Kazushi from the track team. It's been a while since we've had any time for track, with exam preparation and exam week. Let's run. Come on, let's go. You best pick up the pace. We've also got student council work from Odagiri. Work-related. This is Odagiri. Today's student council duties are the same as usual. Come to the student council room if you'd like to attend. That's all. An ad from Wild Duck Burger. We have a new burger. Have you tried our new burger with unknown ingredients? Plus, our fries are extra salty. We await your visit, Wild Ducklings. Secret recipes, mysterious ingredients. Do you have the guts to go Wild Duck? And Officer Kurosawa. I've got something for you today. Consider it restitution for you and the others working diligently every day. Kurosawa. And extra salty fry sounds pretty good, doesn't it? We'll have to make sure to stop by Officer Kurosawa, especially after our time in Tartarus last night. Maybe we can update our gear a little bit with some of the money we were able to take home. Yeah, we want to find Mitsuru as well, so we'll keep an eye out for her. I think that's our first thought. Probably down in the lobby like she usually is, but try to catch up with her before we go into anything else. I'm neither happy nor disappointed with my score, since it's about average. How'd you do, new guy? I was in the top 10. I was quite pleased. I mean, I couldn't have asked for better at this point, I think. Well-behaved student. Just like I thought, my score wasn't too bad. I guess it's a good starting point. I'm sure Yukari did well with all the studying she did.
Oh,
Shima-kun. I saw the exam results. You were really high up on the list. Kirijo-senpai seemed impressed. Maybe she'll even give you some kind of reward. A reward is nice. It's also just that nice sense of accomplishment making it through an exam and doing well. A reward never hurts, though. I'm not going to turn that down. Well, looks like nobody else has anything new to say, so I won't bother them. Just take our tour of the school along the way. Be that guy running down the hall when everybody else is nice, calmly walking like they should be. And I've said it every time, but it's just so cool after school to see the bustling area here. People are going about their day. It just feels like a real lived-in place. You've got a couple people that are just, leaning against walls or talking to each other, but there are enough other people moving around to make it feel like a real lived-in school. Mitsuru. Oh. Shima. I saw your exam results. Good work. Here, this is from the chairman.
excellent.
It's a reward for efficiently balancing schoolwork as well as our extracurricular activities. Hello, Dennis. Welcome back. Great to see you again. Thanks for being here. Oh, wow. This looks like a full set of, incense here. These can be used to permanently increase the power, guard, magic, and speed of a persona. Very valuable. The chairman went all out for us. Lazy student? How'd you do? Oh, okay. As long as you pass your exams, you'll be fine. But I never study for my exams, because I'm too lazy. We've talked about him before. He really diligently owns the self-proclaimed lazy title, doesn't he? He's not like, man, I wish I could do more. It's like, no, this is how I am. I don't study because I wouldn't be lazy if I studied, and I'm the lazy student, so what did you expect me to do? It's an odd thing to be proud of, perhaps, but he's owning it proudly. I hope his days go well for him. If he's happy, I guess after that, what more can you really ask for? The Polonia Mall, that's a good spot to head. We wanted to check in with Officer Kurosawa. Let's also make sure everybody's equipment is where it should be before we head in this time. Yep, Suzumaru. I noticed Akihiko was kind of underperforming when he got down to just physical attacks, so I'm looking to think probably a weapon would be a good thing to shop for, if nothing else, and see what's available. Also kind of just have to see how much money we end up with, because I don't think I'm going to be rich by any stretch. But Officer Kurosawa runs a sale on all of his goods on Mondays, so this is the best time to be in.
What'd you bring? A lot of good stuff to sell here. These odd coins we got from a couple rare shadows. I'm not gonna... I will just say there is a bit of a tough judgment call here that I'm not gonna let shape my choice here, but I'm gonna sell all the items here. But there is a part of my brain that I won't spoil anything here, but we're gonna do it because that's what our character would do at this point. And seeing 8,600 yen for that will be very helpful. All right, I'll take that.
So let's see what we can buy now.
What'll it be?
I mean, I think we all technically need weapons. Let's make sure our armor's good. We had pixel vest, bulletproof shirts, and the metal. Yeah, I think.
Well, prices are
bulletproof shirts are the best thing he has for sale right now.
What'll it be?
Guessing high-tech sandals.
As long as you need.
Oh no, low leather boots. That would be a 9-point jump in evasion. Not getting hit is a lot better than having to heal. We've all got decent accessories.
What'll it be?
And Akihiko's weapons.
Some stuff you might find useful, so feel free to browse.
Okay, brass gloves up to blade fist. Same exact accuracy, but 32 points more attack. That feels pretty significant. 5,000 yen is nothing to sneeze at.
Everything's
close to 6,000
through
yen.
my personal connections. Whatever you get, and however you use it, just be careful.
But especially for Akihiko, since he's got a good amount of SP, but once that's gone, he does resort back to physical attacks. So having him with a good weapon is going to be to our benefit. Yeah, I think I do.
All right then.
And of course, we will equip it. I don't see a need to go back to brass gloves, and I can get 1,000 back for it, so we'll take that. Well, I could look at getting new footwear for everybody. I think getting that weapon is a good step.
All done here?
We picked one up for Junpei in the tower itself.
Be seeing you.
Most of our attacks come from our personas anyway. Let's also think about what we want to do with our day. Maybe we'll say hi to the pharmacist while we're here too, just because it's always nice to see him.
You got it.
He's that nice guy too. He talks about staying healthy. He talks about coming in at any time if help is needed. So he really just feels like I've got that trust with him. We didn't really use any healing items yesterday, but it's just nice to stop in and say hi to him. Hope he's having a good Monday. And I just want to thank him for the sword he's given me. So, thank you, pharmacist.
Thanks.
He runs his sales on Saturday, so that's the better time to shop from his store. But yeah, I actually don't think we checked how most people spent their day, but it looks extremely one-sided with social links versus daily life. It's so close to 0% that a very small percentage of people went to Wild Duck or did other things, but almost exclusively everyone went social links today. So I think that's almost certainly what I will do as well. I'm torn between Odagiri and Miyamoto because it had been exam week last week and exam preparation week the week before. So in both cases, we haven't been to those activities for a while. Probably more so with Odagiri because we haven't been to very many student council meetings. I don't want to leave the track team hanging either, but I'll also take a look and see where our social links are at. Let's see, the track team, we're at rank 3. Student council is rank 2. So they're both pretty close to each other. The Emperor and Chariot that I'm considering. Of which I have neither on hand. And it's just beneficial to have a corresponding persona with the social link you're spending time with because you get that little bit more of an interaction bonus. But if I am doing that, I should have that, so maybe a stop by the Velvet Room here is in order. Let's just keep our save up to date here. Commit to those choices we've made. And I guess, what is the best course of action here? I've got 13,000 yen before I summon a persona. If I'm looking to spend time with the student council, then that would be the Emperor. So I guess maybe I can see if I can make one, or I know I can summon one if I can't make one. It might make sense to try to fuse one if I'm able to do that, to create a new persona.
Welcome to the Velvet Room.
Igor, Elizabeth, always wonderful to see you. I'm actually here for some business today. A lot of times it's just to stop in and say hi, but we'll do a little bit more than that today.
I, too, have a purpose to serve.
And we registered all of our persona last night, so nothing new to update the compendium there.
What kind of persona do you desire?
I can make up to rank 5, or yeah, to level 15. So anybody below Jack-o'-lantern here. I could make a chariot, which would save money, and that would be time with the track team.
Time you need to consider.
That would also consume my hanged man and my strength, which would be Maiko at the shrine and Yuko, the team manager. Well, I guess I could spend time with Maiko today, but since I'm torn between the track team and the student council, well, I guess we should do our full research. Maybe let's compare what it would cost to summon an Emperor persona.
Take a look.
2,900. That's not bad either.
This persona, yes?
It does have some decent elements. It could be a good ingredient to fuse something else going forward. And it doesn't use up the other persona that we do have on hand, so if I did use those and need to resummon them, I'm sure that would cost more than summoning, for 2,900 here. Yeah, let's look at that.
So you'll be summoning this one?
Yes, please.
May it be your inner strength.
Okay,
Are you finished?
I am. Thank you both for your help. I can't wait to see you again.
We look forward to your next visit.
It's always that fine line of balancing the resources we have. Money always seems to be in short supply in this game, so I want to try to stretch it as far as it'll go. Do I always do that? No. I'll admit that. I try to be smart, but I'm not always that. I think I made a decent choice here. We've been being better at stopping by the Port Island Station. I've said that at the start of this playthrough as well. It's like the Port Island Station, of all the places on the map, was probably the one I've been to the least in other playthroughs of the game, just because I hadn't been making a habit of going here. After school, it was always just I would tunnel on whatever activity I was going to do, and I would go right there. You can't come here in the evening, so I just never really did anything here. So intentionally coming here more this playthrough just makes this whole town, city area feel that much bigger. We still haven't actually been to Screenshot, but I always like to stop too and see what movie is playing. Screenshot Movie Theater. The Way of the Godson is now showing. High school students pay 1,500 yen. Watching would help my courage. Not bad. Not what I'm looking to do with my afternoon, but I like to see what's there. Snobby movie critic, what do you think? My monorail was nearly in a big accident the other day. I heard it was just a few feet away. It's just like one of those action thrillers, Whoever stopped that train is a real-life hero. I don't want to brag, but I was the one that stopped that train. Although I really can't brag, because yes, I did stop the train, but it was one of those, I pulled a random lever and the train stopped, so. Just like that last day of exams, it was luck, not skill, that stopped it. But at the end of the day, the results are what kind of matter, right? Yeah, I'm going to tell myself that. And it's hard to think that was over a week ago. That was the Saturday before exams started. The other normal place we stop back here is the station outskirts, because this here is the weak cat. We talk to it every time we're back here, and it's become an unofficial mascot of this playthrough. So, weak cat, hello, and mew. Mew. It's a character that only ever says mew so far. Yeah, we've never really been able to do much more than just talk to it and have it say that, but I don't think I need any more than that. Over here, too, I'm also trying to get us a look. We've got another cat that I like to think has some connection to the weak cat. If I get too close, it's going to run off, but I like to see that they're all still just hanging out back here like they do. And again, that just gives us a reason to go back there and see more of the world. But let's make our way back to school and see what the student council has. We joined about a month ago now, probably. We've only actually been to one meeting. We haven't had a lot of chances to go, so it's not like we've been skipping meetings either, but getting back to it and fulfilling that responsibility that Mitsuru wanted us to help out with is going to be a good thing. And I want to get to know Odagiri a little bit more. Can't remember, I think last time we talked to him, it was specifically about what our thoughts were on school uniforms, and he just kind of wanted to get to know us and see what our take is on rules and responsibility. And he was a very staunch believer that the rules are immutable and they are black and white, and if it's not how the rule specifies it, then it's wrong, and anybody that doesn't see that is just an agent of chaos. He's the head of the disciplinary committee as well, if you can believe it, but to him the rule of law is absolute, and he kind of wanted to feel us out on that and make sure that we were of a similar mindset. And I kind of did want a more middle of the road approach. I'm not against uniforms, but he went on to say that anybody that thinks otherwise is being unreasonable. I don't think that side either. But it'll be interesting to see how we can get to know him a little bit more and see what other nuances beneath that surface facade of the order of law. Again, we'll just commit to our choices and save it here, and let's head in. It's the student council room. Student council meets today. I'm also sure there's probably a lot responsibility-wise to go over after the week, or the last 2 weeks. We didn't meet during the exam preparation week or exam week itself. So there's probably all sorts of business to catch up on after a 2-week hiatus from meeting. And I don't have a specific role in the council. I just help out with wherever I can. Chihiro, the first year we spent time with the other day, she's also the treasurer here, so it'll be nice to see her in this setting. But this is one of those just wherever they need me. Mitsuru's the council president. So I'll just offer whatever help I can and get everything back and running for the time after exams now. And since I've got the Emperor Persona Fornius with me, I can get that much more progress. So yes, I'm going to spend time with the student council this afternoon.
All right, Odagiri, I'm counting on you. For both our sakes.
All right, I don't know what I walked in on,
I understand.
but he's as committed as ever.
Oh,
Oh, Shima-san. Good afternoon, Chihiro.
Hey, Odagiri, what was that about? What did he mean by for both our sakes?
He just wants to create a better school environment, so he simply asked a student fit for the job.
All right. I won't interject since I don't have enough information yet.
Just like how the president asked him to join the student council to help out.
Okay, I guess I'm being brought into the conversation. And he does bring up a good point. I didn't specifically ask for any student council work. Mitsuru came to me and said that she thought I would be a good fit for what needs to be done. And so she, more or less signed me up. I had to, sign my name on the bottom line, but she got the ball rolling for me and I joined in to help out. So that's what he's referring to here.
What? You can't decide something like that without talking to the president first.
Yep, I think I'm going to go with what happened here. I'm not sure this has escalated to a fight yet, and I don't want to make it come across that way. Especially since Odagiri would not probably be too happy if I accused him of fighting, nor would the other student here, the secretary. So I should just take it calmly and try to get some information before I make any decisions or judgments. So, what happened?
someone found a cigarette butt in the boys' bathroom.
Ah,
And that teacher wants the disciplinary committee to look into whose it was.
I see.
Someone has broken school rules. It's only natural that I'm involved in finding and holding the transgressor accountable.
Well, I suppose there is some degree of logic there, as he is the head of the disciplinary committee.
Look, you have two choices. Either help out and prove you can be trusted, or refuse and prove you can't.
It's a very absolute look at the world again. I don't disagree with the secretary in involving the entire student council either. But I guess if I do put myself in Odagiri's shoes, he is the head of the disciplinary committee, and this task does kind of fall to him. I still don't know why he doesn't want to involve the president. But I can see his drive to want to take this responsibility because he sees it as his responsibility.
People like you and me have to deal with a lot of crap around here, don't we?
I don't really know. If people count on us for things, that's one thing. But if I take on too much, then it's kind of hard to blame other people for the work I have to do. It's kind of like if I had this heavy thing to carry, and somebody offers to help me out with it, and you say no. You don't really have the same right to complain then about being the one that has to carry this heavy burden, because you turned down help and you chose to take this yourself. But I guess that's kind of the other side with the social links in the game as well. And that, no man is an island and that sort of thing. And we get stronger by working with others and building those connections to those around us. So, as with all the social links, we can kind of apply different facets of personal growth to the different social link episodes, basically. That might be an avenue to look at for this one. Odagiri seems to have high expectations of me. That's true. I mean, even from the first day we met, that was kind of the initial vibe I got. He introduced himself and said, I don't know who you are or why you're here, other than that the president said she wanted you here, but if she says she wants you here, that's enough for me. So he didn't really want to judge or question or anything like that. He just figured, if you're the right person for the job and you can benefit the council, I don't need to know any more than that. It kind of seems like he's still of that mindset. So, I guess we're becoming better friends. I didn't really have a whole lot of input there other than to ask what's going on, but I won't argue with progress. And having him trust me that little bit more, I do appreciate that. So we are rank 3 with the Emperor now.
Well then, I'll be excusing myself.
Understood. Still feels a little...
Hey! Don't ignore me! You kiss ass!
I say it still feels a little uncomfortable with the council not all in line. Not that we need to know everything, but just informing everybody. Information is free. It's a commodity, but just to keep everybody informed of what's going on, it opens up different strategic avenues for addressing a problem. But they're gone now.
Student council members shouldn't be fighting like this, should they?
No, they probably shouldn't, you hear? It's that fun irony that the disciplinary committee head is one of them. But he doesn't see it that way. He sees that he's being attacked, not that he might be in the wrong either. But I'm here to help out and do what I can, so I'm not going to try to throw any more fuel on that fire either. If I can de-escalate things or steer them back on course, I'll try to do that.
I better go tell the president.
Yeah, there's, again, keeping everybody informed. It depends on how one goes and tells as well, but I'm sure Mitsuru, with Mitsuru, she probably already knows what's going on, but again, just the more informed everybody is, the easier it is for everybody to make proper decisions. So I don't disagree with Chihiro's choice either. And I'm almost kind of glad I would have gone with her if she wanted me to go with her, but she seems to want to be working on more of that confidence and independence. So the fact that she chose to do that and to go tell Mitsuru without saying, hey, would you come with me? Or could you go tell the president? I don't want to step in and steal her thunder on that one and kind of take away that accomplishment for her. So it's not that I want to throw her to the wolves and wish her luck on that, but she chose to do this. And I believe she can do it without problem. So I will let her handle that. I can trust her because she trusts me. But my work is done here, so I'll head home. Kind of seems like the room just emptied out, so I just quietly slunk away.
Perfect timing. Would you mind heading to the rooftop with me?
Yeah, I like all the social links in the game, but hers is especially, close to me because I am kind of that anxious person in real life, so. And it is one in past playthroughs of the game. It took me a while to get into as well because I didn't spend enough time talking to her initially, so I thought just, maybe I've missed something, so. Coming back and doing hers in a different pace is kind of fun to see. And yeah, I'm trying to balance them out a little bit and spend enough time with people throughout. A lot of times in past playthroughs, I might focus entirely on one, but this just kind of feels like it fits our story a little bit better and mitigates spoilers for the audience. So. Nice to kind of see those overlaps in our social groups as well. But we've made it back to the dorm in the evening here. Ikutsuki here is inviting us up to the rooftop, which is, I guess, not the first time we've been up there, considering the dorm was attacked in mid-April by that shadow. But that was always that door at the very top landing that said, if closed, or if open, please close. Keep this door closed. If open, make sure it's closed. So interesting to actually be invited up to the roof. And I like all these different options. I could question, why go to the roof? Which, it might be a valid call. I could straight out say no, which I guess. But I don't see any reason not to say sure. He wouldn't invite me up there if it wasn't something that he wanted me to see. And he is the chairman as well, so it's not like we're breaking the rules, and it's not like, Junpei and I are sneaking up there. He's got something he wants me to see, and he's asked for my cooperation, so sure.
A quick answer. I like that.
I'm glad he thought that was quick, because I talked it out for a while. I wasn't just staring at him for 2 minutes as we had this, monologue between you and I.
It isn't anything important. I just wanted to show you something.
Well, you've got my curiosity piqued.
And I just so happen to have the key to the rooftop.
That will make it easier to get up there.
Now then, shall we go?
Yes, let's.
Do you recall fighting that shadow here on the rooftop a little while back?
I vividly do, yes. I also like the fact that he says it was a little while back, because that was our first week here at the dorm. We arrived back on April 6th, and I've been playing this game one real day at a time. So it was April 6th when we arrived here. That was a Monday. I think it was that Thursday that the shadow attacked. So it was going on, not quite 2 months yet, but almost that long since we were last up here, when we awoke to our power of our persona. So, yes, it was definitely a little while back now. And that's exactly what I wanted from this playthrough as well, to actually feel that passage of time and that scope of the world changing. For so many playthroughs, I'm sure this was just a couple play sessions later, a handful of hours, but for us it was many weeks.
Well, while cleaning up the aftermath, I happened upon some planters and gardening tools.
Very cool.
And I couldn't help myself from setting up our own little garden.
I love that idea. We've got the space for it.
So, what do you think? Not too shabby, huh?
Very exciting. It does look pretty good, and that's probably what I'll say. Although I am curious if the chairman likes gardening. He must, or he wouldn't have set something like this up. But the dismissive, why am I here? I could kind of see my character maybe thinking that, but I wouldn't say that to him. So yeah, it looks pretty good.
You have impeccable taste. I'm glad my efforts didn't go unappreciated.
And this does look like it would have taken effort as well. He's got, the planter beds there, some pots, the soil, the tools. That didn't just happen.
Unfortunately, I can feel my back giving out after all that hard work. Do you happen to know a good chiropractor?
I'm a little new to the area, but I know a good pharmacist. He might be able to set you up with somebody.
But I digress. There is, in fact, a reason I brought you here. I'd like you to use these planters however you see fit.
Okay.
Although I did set them up, I'm afraid that I won't be able to tend to a garden as often as I'd like.
I kind of figured. We've talked about how busy he is with other things in the past as well. He's the chairman. He's also doing research into the shadows. He's a very busy man, so I can kind of see the fact that he wouldn't have time to do some casual gardening on top of it all.
I did mention it to Kirijo-kun, but it didn't catch on, I suppose, due to her upbringing.
Maybe, or it could also be the fact that she's equally as busy with her responsibilities to the Kirijo group and as student council president and in her side of the shadow investigations and training her persona. I think she's also got a lot on her plate.
Besides, You're able to cook meals at the dorm, correct?
I suppose in theory. I've never tried, but it's a good vote of confidence in my abilities.
Well, now you can grow your own vegetables for healthy eating.
All right. I'm sure it is a lot of work, and there are a lot of things I don't know about it, but I don't want to have throw that negative, pall on things. So yeah, it does sound interesting. I'm sure, I can learn things, research, talk to people, and learn the things I don't know. And work is work, but work pays off depending, you get what you put into it. So it does, it sounds interesting. I'll keep that momentum going. Yeah.
I'm glad you think so. It would mean a lot to me if you made good use of the planters.
I will try.
Once you get started, you'll find there's a lot that can be done. Of course, you're free to do whatever you want.
And I also like that. It's like, here's an opportunity for you. I won't force you to do this. I'm not going to stand up here and schedule you and make sure you come up here and do this. But if you want to do that, I've prepared the means for you to do it. And here's what you can get for the work you put into it. It really just feels like he's trusting me as a student and as a person and providing something for me that I wouldn't have access to otherwise. Yes, at the rooftop garden, you can raise crops of vegetables. Each one will take a different amount of time to grow. That's going to be fun in this playthrough as well, because time is passing as it does in the real world, so if something takes a week to grow, then we won't see it grow until next week. You or your teammates can eat the vegetables you harvest to gain benefits that will be helpful when journeying into Tartarus.
Here are some seedlings. Go ahead and plant them if you like. You should be able to purchase other types of seedlings around the city. Feel free to experiment.
I like that.
Well, that's everything. And now, it's time to raise the roof and elevate this garden to new heights. And to top it off, eat your veggies, peas.
Eat your veggies, peas. Ha ha ha. Oh, Chairman, you're so corny. I hope his sense of humor never changes, though. So, this is the first time we've ended up on the roof since that shadow encounter. Been a few minutes since our last save as well, so let's catch up there. But yeah, we've got some planter boxes now. Oh. And it's been a while since we found anything shining on the ground either, but let's pick that up while we're here. There's something shining on the ground. It's a twilight fragment. Wonderful. A nice big roof. Nice to have a chance to see it without shadows climbing up the walls as well. Well, how do people spend their day? And by that, I say let's check our messages. Game Parade. Come and play our popular crane game and try to win a prize. Then stick around and hop into one of our many immersive video games. There's great fun to be had, whether you're alone or with friends. We can't wait to see you. In Chagall. We've spent some part-time time working there in the past. We hope everyone is having a great day. Chagall is looking for someone to work at the cafe today. Students may apply, no experience required. This is a paid position, and the perks include free pheromone coffee. We look forward to meeting you. Ooh, some coffee sounds pretty good right now, but let's actually check and see how people spent their time. All right, 100% went to daily life activities. A lot of good choices they had as well. We're standing right here. It seems a shame not to interact with the rooftop garden. I'm going to take a look here. I don't want to commit to spending my full evening here yet. I want to still talk to everybody, but since we're right here, if I can just get these seeds planted or what have you, then maybe we can start here and work our way down the building. It's the rooftop planter that I was told to take care of. Nothing is planted in the soil of the planter. Nothing is planted in the soil of the planter. Looks like we can plant some seedlings. He gave us a healthy tomato sprout, so let's get that going. We'll grow into a tomato packed full of nutrition. 10 days until fully grown. So that could be harvested on 6/4. Kind of wild to think that we're coming up on 6/4 already. But yes, let's get that planted. Wow. He does quick work. I planted the healthy tomato sprout. All right. Well, that looks exciting. The open planters were nice, but to see them actually full of that potential now and the growing plants is really cool. Oh, I appreciate the chairman setting that up for us. We'll walk ourselves down here. And I always kind of call out attention to it, but for anybody that, enjoys dumb little details that really just entertain me, every time coming back from school, I've intentionally made it a choice to come up to my room for the very sole purpose of dropping off this bag on my shoulder. You can walk into your room after school, and boom, he put his bag away. Nothing huge, doesn't change anything about the gameplay, but I just like that thought of carrying that thing around all day from school and around after school to getting back to the room and just taking it off and putting it in the closet and putting stuff away. Now I can go about my evening without that literally weighing on me. Again, it doesn't do anything, but it just feels like the kind of thing that would happen in a real world. And it's those little details that make the world that much more full. Everybody's got some stuff to talk about. Let's get cleaned up after a busy day. Wash up after doing that planting. That's right, I planted a healthy tomato sprout. We've got 10 days until it can be harvested. That looks pretty good too, Junpei. How you doing? How were exams? Or no. I probably shouldn't bring that up with him. I'll just ask him how his day is going. Yeah, my grades were, well, they were what I expected. Sometimes that can be good, but based on the tone and what we've interacted with Junpei before, that might not be as ideal. Just leave me alone, man. I get that, especially since I scored in the top 10. I'm sure he wouldn't want someone like me walking over and humble bragging about, how did you do, Junpei? Oh, me? Oh, I just happened to be in the top 10. Nothing big. Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot you can say to him at this point that wouldn't sound condescending. I do want to, do what I can for him going forward, but there are times when a guy needs to be alone with stuff, and that seems like one of those for him. Let's see what's on TV while we're here. A 92-year-old woman was... a 92-year-old woman with a surprising hobby, playing online games. I've said it before, too. I really like how the TV is structured in this game, in that it comes on mid-broadcast, typically. Just like if you were to turn on a real TV. It's like, the news doesn't wait for you to turn it on and start talking. This broadcast has been going out to everybody already, and we turned it on when we did, so we came in mid-sentence. It threw me as a reader, but that's how it works in the real life. And I love the thought of anybody playing an online game and enjoying it. It shouldn't matter how old you are, or if it's, a 92-year-old woman or a younger kid. If they like doing it and they've got the time to do it and it makes them happy, it should be celebrated and encouraged. As long as everything was responsible and all that, but I'm sure it is. So I hope she enjoys her gaming. When we spoke to her, she said her favorite thing about the game was being able to talk to the kids. And that's a cool thought too, to kind of unite the different age groups and generations. Very cool, very exciting. And that's the fun thing about games in general, too, is it is that unique bridge between different generations and things. I love the idea of the older nostalgic games. And even though this Persona 3 Reload is a recent re-release of the game, I think it was, 2006-ish that the original Persona 3 came out? And it's been released a couple different iterations in the past, but, you could definitely say that this game, is older by today's standards. But still, there's that chance to share it with other people. And that works with all games. New games, old games, current games. Yeah, very cool. And anybody can enjoy them. That's the other fun part. It's like it can be that 92-year-old little lady. Right, Akihiko?
Yes.
Yes. My scores on the latest round of exams were quite a bit higher than usual. Congratulations. I also like the choice of saying the latest round of exams. I mean, it totally fits as a choice of words, but from his boxing connections, too. I wonder if that was a fun little sneak in there of, seeing this as a round of exams. I guess it's only natural considering how I used my training time to study instead. That's true, he was recovering from his attack, so he didn't have as much time to work on his physical training, so that did open him up more of a chance to just hit the books, maybe. Oh right, Mitsuru told me she'll be back late tonight.
My mistake.
So according to her, Tartarus is a no-go. Well, that answers why nobody went there tonight. And I guess that takes that choice off the table for us as well. Ooh, Yukari's got a good-looking snack there, too. No, that I've seen her just enjoying a snack casually on the couch there.
Hey there.
Hey, my results were actually better than I expected. Gotta love that. That's actually how I felt about mine as well. Top 10 is a huge accomplishment. I guess there I go again, turning it back on myself. But yes, I can relate to feeling that exams went better than expected. It seems like the exams didn't cover that much this time, so I kind of lucked out. I do still wish that I had enough energy to study after going to Tartarus, though. Chairman, I planted those tomatoes. Thank you again for the chance. Well, I sure am glad you agreed to take over caring for the plants. To be honest, just climbing the stairs up to the rooftop is rough enough for an old man like me. Not to say that he's an old man or anything, but there was also that thought about having all those planter boxes up on the roof, and just the fact that it is a bit of a climb to get up there. I mean, that's what, 4 floors plus the rooftop landing? And to take all that stuff up there, I mean, none of the components by themselves are especially heavy, but that's a good few trips if nothing else. And it's not easy to carry, bigger things like that, even if they aren't weighing you down. Yeah, he put in a lot of effort for us, and I want to make the most of that. As I, dodge around the room here, not really having any sort of direction. But there's no Tartarus tonight. So what do we want to do with our time? All daily life activities. I had actually kind of been really wanting to get back to Tartarus. We made a lot of great progress last night. We're still not quite up to everyone's average, but we're a lot closer than we were. We made it to floor 36 yesterday, up from floor 28, so 36 is a lot closer to 40 than 26 or 28 was. Their average level is 19, though. I think we're only 15. Yeah, we're all level 15. So that leaves a lot to be desired. So I do want to get back to Tartarus as soon as I'm able. But apparently that's not tonight. We've already talked about our social stats as well, but let's just take another look at those. I've really been enjoying focusing on academics, coming off of exams. But there would be something to be said for working on the other two as well. I suppose that's the other side of it too. It's like, we need progress in every category, so it's not like there's anyone that's... If I spend time working on courage, that's something I need. If I spend time working on charm, that's something I need. If it's academics, I need it. So it's not like I'm going to be wasting any time. It's going to be time spent on a beneficial task. But I still have to make a choice. That's where the challenge comes in. But we've talked to everybody here at the door, and we watched the news. Let's see where the evening takes us. We could work at the cafe again. It's been a couple weeks since we've done that. That would get us a little bit of courage, a little bit of charm, and a little bit of money. All good things. We could look at the shared computer. I do have a little bit of money now, so we might be able to pick up a bit of software. And who knows, maybe they've actually got something new. It's been a while since we've been in there, so yeah, while we're here, let's head upstairs. And after last Saturday, it's kind of nice to see fewer of the people displaying apathy syndrome. You'll remember there were a lot of people that were leaning against walls or slouched over in places. And they don't seem to be quite as prevalent anymore. The game called that out, and it's just nice to kind of see that depicted in the world as well. This is the Net Cafe. Nothing new. I could buy something to work on my courage or my charm, though. We got the virtual diet to work on charm, type in ghoul for courage. And then muscle boot camp and mindful boot camp, they say that they work on strengthening muscles and strengthening the mind. I believe that's going to be other stats. Yeah, this game is so great at just having those little subtle details on things that it does or doesn't even call attention to. And having being playing it this one day at a time like I have been, it has really given me that chance to look a little bit more closely at things. And just that fun thought, too, that somebody took the time and effort to plan for that on something that I've beaten the game multiple times before this, and it never really super consciously registered in my head either. So yeah, it's just those little details that I really do appreciate. 12 200 yen isn't bad. Yeah, we haven't been by Game Parade yet today either. Let's check out what game they have available. That would cost actually more than a bit of software, so depending on what it is, we might come back here and purchase something. Nobody new to talk to. I'm talked about Game Parade, but I also want to stop in Club Escapade while we're here, just because I like to stop in there and see what's going on. But Game Parade, what have we got today? We've got High School of Youth, to work on our charm, and Punch Boxer to work on our persona strength. I actually thought High School of Youth cost more money, but it's only 1,500, so that's actually not that bad. Between the two, I'd still probably go and purchase some software. We already stopped in and talked to Officer Kurosawa today, so nothing really going on there. Yeah, I mean, there are a couple people, too. I mean, you know, we've got a student here that maybe she's really focused on something, but she also seems kind of not as with it as some of the other students or people around, potentially. So there's not a complete lack of apathy syndrome people, but a lot less than we had been seeing. It's still kind of fun to come in here to Club Escapade because this is one of the first real social things I had prioritized in the game because we tried to open the door at first and we said we weren't courageous enough. So that really kind of gave me that focus to try to work on our courage originally. And then we finally reached that ordinary level and we were able to come in here. So it wasn't a huge victory, but it was an entirely new place for us. So I do just like to come in here and think about that tangible form of growth that we can come in here now. We've got the candid woman and her fortune-telling friend. Looks like they've got something new to say. That girl's been shy all her life. She doesn't talk to people, and she doesn't talk to people she doesn't know easily. I can relate. Though I guess the fortune teller does have a different air about her. She seems like someone who has something special. She does. Fortune-telling addict. You know that fortune teller? The one they call Dead Mother or Mama? She's got a very weird presence. It's like she's in another world. I wanted to tell my fortune, but I don't have the courage to talk to her. Kind of interesting hearing about courage after talking to you guys about that just at the door over there. We've got a shady gentleman back here who also sells links to different websites and things. Haven't talked to him in a while, so we'll see if he's got anything new to offer. Heh, you're a curious one, aren't you? Well, go ahead, take a look. Still just a couple forum and website links. Nothing I feel like an immediate need for. I'll hold on to that 1,000 yen between the two of them.
It's been a pleasure.
We know where to come to buy them in the future. Looks like a good casual party here as I run through the crowd. The bartender and the expensive goods salesman don't seem to have anything new to say. Still all the couples up here. Feels like I'd be in the way if I came up, so we'll just leave them at it. And as I've said too, it's another kind of just part of our story, fun thing to get out in these afternoons and these evenings and take that walk around town. Yeah, I see things that I hadn't been seeing before, but it's also just the thought of our character being able to get out and stretch his legs and take a bit of a walk. It's late May now, so the weather's getting warmer. The weather looks nice. It's not raining or anything like that. Nice clear sky. You can see the stars up there. It's probably staying lighter later. It's not just rambling and wandering around, although there is part of it there. And yeah, again, not everybody's looking 100%. It's just one of those little things to keep our eyes on. But I'm headed for the Net Cafe, I think. Because I think picking up some sort of software is a good use of our time. It's not super expensive. We can't go to Tartarus. And if we can get some of those done, it's just one less bit of computer software to look at needing to buy or wanting to buy in the future. And they also do make good social progress. I guess I should consider which one between charm or courage seems like one I want more right now. We just recently hit our new level of charm, so I don't think we'll be making any progress there, though courage is probably about the same. And I guess like I said last time we stared at the screen, I need both of them, so there's really no special need to think about which one I prioritize. Although, I guess, as I say that out loud, Wakatsu Kitchen, one floor down from where I'm standing right now, they have a menu for regulars that can only be accessed once I'm a bit more charming. So, yeah, maybe charm is the way to go. We haven't done much for that in a while. Although, as I'm talking now, it's like the idea of charm and courage.
technically I could get a slight, bonus to both of those by going and working at Chagall Cafe, and I'd make 3,000 yen for the effort. I'd actually make money rather than spending it. But I've also said before, too, the idea of the shared computer there. I like the thought that if I'm buying a piece of software here, then I'm taking it back and I'm using it at the cafe or at the shared computer, that anyone else at the dorm can use it as well. So if I buy Typing Ghoul or whatever's on sale today, maybe Junpei could come and use that in the future, or Yukari, or anybody else at the dorm that wants to use it. The game never makes any specific mention of this. They don't gain any stats from it that I can tell, but from our own story, maybe they would appreciate having something new at the shared library there. Yeah, let's do that. Let's look at virtual diet. Maybe we can work on that charm a little bit, and maybe we can access the regular menu down at Wakatsu Kitchen one of these days. 1,200 yen. Not bad.
Come again.
I will. And just the thought of, kind of cleaning out that list, basically. There's no need to, not have any software to use, but that gamer completionist part of my brain is just like seeing that and thinking, oh, there's all these softwares I haven't used yet. So, if we can work those out, that's just one less list of things that can rattle around in my head. I guess here's the question for you guys too to discuss in the comments. What would you have picked if you had the choice between working on charm or courage? Tonight, would you have picked charm or courage, or would you have done something totally different? There's got to be somebody that's staring at the screen and thinking, you made the worst possible choice. I'd have done this. Without looking at spoiling anything, feel free to discuss that in the comments. But let's save the game as well. That makes it a lot easier for me getting things set up for tomorrow. I think for the evening, we're going to use that new software we bought. We'd be kind of ashamed to buy it and not use it, so let's check out this virtual diet. PC software for helping you attain a beautiful body via watching videos. Sounds like that would totally work. I've said before, too, just little interactions, these background details. Like the fact that he loaded up this software by actually using the keyboard. He hit a few key presses there. I noticed the same thing during the online game with Maya the other day. Anytime he would talk to Maya, he would actually type out a response. It wasn't just like, I saw the response and I made the response. It took actual input to interact with the computer, and the game showed that. It didn't change the outcome of talking to Maya or to loading the software here, but it's just another one of those little things that makes the world that much more real. On that same note, too, I'm staring at the chords that you can see in scene here as well. There was a time we went through the entire lobby of the dorm here and just followed all the cords from the various lamps and the computer, because everything is properly plugged in this world as well. It's not just we've got wireless lamps over by the door. Each one has an outlet that these lamps are plugged into, and that's one of those things that my mind always looks for in games. I like the thought of somebody taking the effort to make sure that all these corded things are properly plugged in and accounted for. It doesn't, again, change anything, but it's the kind of detail that your brain unconsciously sees and just accepts. It's like, well, yeah, I can see this cord going down the desk and actually across the floor there to a wall, so that must be how this computer is being powered. It's not just some magic device in a world of personas and magic, so, it wouldn't be wrong to not see it, but actually seeing it is just one of those things that tells my brain this is a real place. So, tangent aside, we're experiencing virtual diet for the evening. Now, you too can have a slim body without having to suffer through exercise. I'm not sure what kind of software we bought, but, it sounds like a dubious opening. First, train yourself to curb your appetite by looking at blue food. Looking at all the blue food on screen is making me lose my appetite. Well, I guess maybe that would work. I finished watching all the videos. I feel like I have a slimmer, more attractive body already. I don't know why, this makes me think of a few weeks ago in school. The school nurse was talking about magic in class, as well as the concept of the placebo effect. This really feels like a concrete example of something like that. The
the software told us we would be slimmer by using it, and by doing these tactics, we will have less of an appetite and we'll be slimmer. And that's that positive, power of positive thinking and mental projection idea of if you believe it works, that adds some credence to it actually working. I don't think there's a lot of science between watching a video and getting slimmer, but there's a lot that the body can do that is interesting, and that placebo effect might have something going for it. Either way, we actually did make some progress. So I guess this is actual proof that whatever we did benefited our charm. We're still unpolished, so we didn't do enough to take us up to that next rank, but we took some steps forward. You'll love to see that. And with that, it's gotten late, so I should head back to my room. And there that is. That is the end of Monday the 25th. So let's head back to the desk and talk a bit more about it. I'll get us over there. Okay. So again, that was the end of the day, Monday, May 25th. And it was another really good day. It felt like we got a lot more done. We saw a lot more of the world again. It's still, just like I said the other day, coming off of an exam week where we didn't have a lot of choice on any way to spend our time. It's really cool to just have that world open back up to us again and to be able to make those choices. We got to school early this morning, or I guess we got there at our normal time. It was Junpei that got there early. But there was that apprehension of knowing that today was the day that exam scores are going to be posted. And on that note, kudos to the school, because we took our last exam Saturday. And the fact that was 2 days ago, and they've already got exams tabulated and posted, good work on their part. And I suppose it's also one of those better to know now than later, so that we can assess academic progress and correct what changes need to be corrected. But yes, today was the day to learn our academic fate coming off of exams. And I was really encouraged to see that my result was in the top 10. It really rewards the feeling of the study that I decided to prioritize over the last couple weeks. We spent a lot of time at Wakatsu or in the school library. We had those great study groups that the game showed us as well on the week leading up to exams. The first night with Akihiko and Mitsuru, and then with Junpei and Yukari, and then with everybody on the Saturday before exams. Or maybe it was Sunday. It was the Sunday before exams. Either way, we put a lot of effort into that week. And so to see that actually pay off in having a good grade, it's that great one-to-one, seeing the progress and attaining the results by virtue of the work we put into it. So we finished in the top 10. We got some skill incense as a reward from the chairman by way of Mitsuru to celebrate our achievement. Again, it felt really good to see that we succeeded on something that was such an upcoming challenge for us for the better part of the month. We actually had another one of those options to sleep during class or to stay awake. This entire playthrough, I've never considered sleeping in class, so we stayed awake and gained a little bit of academic progress there. Oh, that's right, yeah, we also gained some charm progress as well because our fellow students appreciated the fact that I made the top 10. So that was another encouraging side benefit I wasn't planning for. But that then did bring us to the end of the school day. We were able to head out and kind of see the town again, as we've been doing, talk to some of the regulars. Stopped by the Velvet Room and picked up a persona from the compendium so that we had a fitting social link for some time we wanted to spend after school. Picked up a new weapon for Akihiko as well from Officer Kurosawa. I feel like that's going to really go far once we make it back to Tartarus. We couldn't go tonight, even though I was kind of hoping we would, but once we're back there, we'll just be that much more capable now. But after school, we did our errands around town as we do, and that took us back to the school for student council. As I'd said in the time, it had been a while since we'd had a chance to do anything with the student council, and I wanted to just be there and fulfill my side of the responsibilities of being part of the council. I'm kind of that floater that goes between the different groups and helps out wherever is needed, but I can do a lot more for them if I'm there than if I skip their meetings. That's not to say I didn't, consider my other options either. Track practice was also literally calling, so there was a text from Miyamoto about that. But, today seemed like the right day for student council. So we were able to head in there, and as soon as we got there, we saw a discussion going on between the secretary and Odagiri. And a teacher, actually. There was a teacher that was there that was telling Odagiri that he was counting on him to get this sorted out and taken care of. There was some back and forth there about whether or not the entire student council should be involved in whatever this was. I came in the middle of the scene, so I didn't really feel like jumping in and trying to take over. But I was kind of quickly involved in the process by being referenced as, well, nobody involved, all of us when we put him in the council, so why should the entire council need to worry about something that's my responsibility? Odagiri figured that there was a disciplinary matter that deserved attention, and as the head of that committee, that was his responsibility. And yeah, I didn't disagree with that thought at the time. But the secretary wasn't really having it, and he and Odagiri were kind of going back and forth on that. I mostly stayed out of it and just kind of fished for information to learn what was actually going on before taking a side. And it turns out that apparently some boy at the school had been smoking, and they had found evidence of that. And so that was something that Odagiri was tasked with finding the culprit and taking care of it. He definitely seems up to the task. He saw this person as a rule breaker. He has a very zero tolerance policy on anything like that, and he's going to give his all to that. And it sounds like he's also going to count on my help for that as well. He'd mentioned that we see things on the same wavelength, more or less, so he was going to rely on my help for that. And it wasn't a lot. We didn't interact a whole lot with him, but it was nice to have that trust and that expectation. I'm a member of the council, and he's going to rely on me as such. So we made that much more progress and took the rank for the Emperor Social Link up to rank 2. Or was it rank 3? Either way, we went up 1 rank, which was very encouraging. I think it was rank 3. But, we're that much closer now. We're being trusted with something, and we actually have more of a purpose in the student council than just kind of that general purpose wherever they need us, even though that's still part of our mandate as well. And this wasn't even part of today's social link, but I also like that little tangent of seeing Chihiro again, and having her not really know what to do after the secretary and Odagiri were fighting, or discussing, however you want to take it. But she figured she wanted to let Mitsuru, let the president of the council know, and so she headed off to go do that. She seemed very flustered at the whole prospect, but I want to give kudos to her for stepping up and doing that. And I also, I'm happy that the game didn't force me to go along with her, because I would have gone with her if she'd wanted my help, but she didn't ask for my help, and I don't think she needs my help. This was one of those personal advancements that she's taking on and doing herself, and I don't want to steal that from her. So I'm sure she went off and fulfilled her responsibility as a member of the student council and kept the president informed. But with that, the entire room was empty, so it kind of seemed like a natural ending point to my time with student council today, and I made my way back to the dorm. Oh, yes. And coming in, it was kind of a surprise that it wasn't just the usual group of people in the lobby, but it was actually Chairman Ikutsuki was waiting there, and he'd said he had something on the roof he wanted to show me, which was, very different. I'd been on the roof one other time when the building was under attack, but I didn't think it was anything as serious as that. So I followed him up there, and he revealed a couple planter boxes and some gardening equipment, and said that this seemed like a good place for that. He doesn't have a lot of time to garden himself, but he wanted to give us at the dorm that opportunity to raise whatever plants we wanted. So he set up the beds, he gave us some tomato seedlings, I think it was. It was, yeah. And just said, if you have any time and interest, you can make use of these. And I really appreciated that, because that wasn't something he needed to do. It's not something that he's going to be participating in himself, it sounds like, but he just wanted to give us that option. And he said, this is totally up to you. I'm not going to force you to do it. You could totally ignore it if you want, but it's just that having a choice that we can make. I appreciate that. And I said as much. We got those tomatoes planted tonight, and they'll be ready in the first part of June. Even saying that again, it's like, wow, we're looking at the first part of June before too much longer. But, we've got 10 real days before those tomatoes are ready. But it was just something new and different with our day, a reason to go up on the roof. And we found a twilight fragment up there too, which was nice. And came back down and had a chance to talk to everybody. Junpei was, you could almost see that rain cloud above his head from the exam results. He basically, he said they went about as well as he expected and didn't want to talk about it. And I felt for him and wanted to give him his space. Yukari, on the other hand, was excited, and she did better than she thought she would. And she definitely put in the work for that too. There were a lot of evenings where she went out with friends and they were studying, or she went to get notes from somebody from class. So she was rewarded for the effort she put into that, and it was nice to see. Akihiko said that, he had more time to study because he was recovering from his injury, so he didn't have time to do his physical training, which it was good. Good exams are always a nice thing, but it's interesting to think, what his results would have been if he wasn't injured. Would he have done as well, or would he have prioritized his physical training over the mental side? Either way, he did well now, so no sense questioning it. But it was just nice to get everybody's feel on how tests went, and to have it all be current topical stuff. That's always one of the great things about this game. Anytime somebody's got something new to say, it will be applicable to what's going on. Akihiko also mentioned that Mitsuru was out doing other things tonight, so Tartarus was a total off limits tonight. We weren't going, which made that choice easier. I will say, if I could have gone to Tartarus tonight, I was really kind of planning on it, but that choice was made for me. And that's another one of those fun things about this game in general. It's like other people have real schedules and things that they're doing, and Mitsuru wasn't available tonight. And we've got this rule that if she's not there to guide us, we don't go. So there was no Tartarus tonight. It didn't really matter what me, the player, wanted or what my schedule was. She wasn't available, so we weren't going to go. And, there's no argument there. It's not like, well, come on, Akihiko, we can go without her. It's like, nope, no, it doesn't work that way. So I had to find something else to do. And, not coming into the day with any sort of game plan other than that mental thought of what I'd like to do, it kind of got me to have to think in the moment of let's head out, take a walk, see what sort of sights we see, and where our attention gets pulled. And came down to looking at some sort of social skill to work on between the academic, the charm, and the courage. I need progress in all of them. And after some wandering around and kind of talking in circles, I ended up deciding to pick up some new software from the Net Cafe. It wasn't tremendously expensive. It would be something new that we haven't done before. And it would be another piece of software to kind of leave at the shared computer for anyone else in the dorm that wanted to use it. So I had my choice between a virtual diet software and a typing program with zombies in it. One raised my charm, the other raised my courage. Both cost the same, so there wasn't really a trade-off either way there. There were a couple other bits of software I could have purchased, but I wanted to prioritize the social side of things first. And I ended up going with the charm portion, mostly because there was a menu for regular customers at Wakatsu that could only be accessed if you've got a bit more charm. I'm not necessarily extremely in need of seeing what that regular menu is like, but it would just open up that much more if I'm a little bit more charming and eloquent. So I picked up the virtual diet software and brought that back to the dorm. And we sat down at the shared computer, got that booted up. And, it sounded one of those too good to be true kind of bits of software where, we were able to watch videos and get slimmer in the process, control our appetite, all that positive sounding stuff. Yeah, like I say, it sounded too good to be true, but after the fact, we gained a couple points of charm, so there must have been some good takeaways from that. Whether they were actual tangible ones or not, or if it was just a new way to think about things. If we're able to walk away feeling like we've gained some progress in charm, that's the whole reason we use the software, so I would say it was a success. But with that, there was no Tartarus after that, so we were able to finish up with the software, probably just head upstairs, do something in a room before bed, and just get in a full night of sleep. It'll take us into tomorrow, Tuesday, feeling fully rested up. We've got our exams behind us now, so we can hit the academic side of things and just be rested for whatever we have time to get up to for the rest of our day. But with that is about the end of Monday the 25th. It was a good day. We accomplished a lot. And I think it's really set a good tone for our week. We saw the exam progress. We made some social progress. We made some social skill progress in the evening. We kind of checked all those boxes. So if we can get back into Tartarus later this week, I think that'll really round out the experience and make it a good week overall. But starting off on a good note is always a positive way to go. Better than trying to play catch up later. So that takes us to the end of Monday, May 25th, and it was another very good day. I want to thank you all so much for being here today. My name is Tom Shima, and I'm going to plan to continue this Persona a Day series every day live at 12:30 Eastern Time. So anytime you want to see this live and you want to be here to join me, I would love to have you. I also upload each day's playthrough to my YouTube channel, so if you miss a day or want to catch up on any other past days, I have a playlist of every episode there. Either way, I just hope everyone has a wonderful Monday the 25th, that you've got the time to enjoy the things you want to enjoy, that you can accomplish the things you want to accomplish, and it sets your week off on a good start as well. I have been Tom Shima. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again. Goodbye. With that, we've reached the end of the day. Please look forward to next time to see where the game goes from here. This journey is being streamed live on my Twitch channel if you'd like to be there in person for the experience. Links and schedule details can be found in the description. I'll keep uploading each day's session to this channel so you can keep watching here. Once again, I'm Tom Shima. Thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you again as I continue the series, Persona a Day. What will tomorrow bring?